Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome. We wanted to continue on the path of Tantra and inclusiveness.
Yes.
It's not only about couples and personal, deep, spiritual relationships with a teacher or a partner or a husband or a wife.
That I think is important because, especially, for example, with the queer community, lots of people feel neglected by the religious practices. And Tantra started to become really popular in the US and in Europe for the queer community, for gay, for lesbian, for trans. And that shows also that something that we had been talking a lot about, the importance and the willing for connection and the importance of getting a positive relationship with your sexuality.
When you say it's getting popular,
yes,
do you feel like people are drawn to what we would call the esoteric part and it's not like it's getting more popular to get into Tantra sex workshops or...
I think it's a combination of both things. First, you see people that get that glint in their eyes because you say, okay, if there is sex involved and I like sex, why don't I try this? But also people start to discover that the practices are not directed to only to a certain setting or constellation, as you said in the break, between a man and a woman. Is possible to practice by yourself. Is very possible to practice with any other human being, no matter their gender or their sexual expression. And I think is very healing also because of all the shaming and the difficulties to have a positive relationship with yourself. Healing can be also for people that suffered some kind of trauma in their lives. Is good to feel safe, actually, when you are in connection with someone else.
We spoke in the last episode about not feeling lonely.
Yes.
And I think for a lot of people, that is a deep state. It's just so engraved in you to feel lonely or being afraid of being alone. And when you feel that connection, like when we have teacher trainings and when we have these groups, and we do have a tantric touch on what we do. We have exercises that makes people feel more connected and they can be open and vulnerable. Can we say that when you create that in a group setting, and then if it's a little bit sex on the top, if you do these workshops where you have actually, I haven't been to any of those workshops, but I know you have.
Yes.
So I don't know what they do, but they create this safe space, right?
Yes.
And then
the idea, I have been in different settings in this. Actually, I had been very curious and sometimes not really responsible, I should say. So I will try to tell this without prejudice, and maybe some people can make better choices than I did. It is very important to know what the teacher is going to propose and how the mechanics of workshops are going to flow in Tantra, especially when you go for queer Tantra workshops that some are mainly a facade of drugs and group sex, and others are people preying on other people because they want to have sex with vulnerable people. And some are very good teachers that create a very good setting in a place where they teach the practices without getting any involvement with the students. And then you decide if you want to practice with a companion. And maybe you bring your partner and you practice with your partner there. And maybe some friendships can come out of that. And it's like more leveled. There is not a power imbalance. I think that the problem in the queer community when you go with Tantra, or even when you go with these retreats for couples and for heterosexual couples and all that, is to understand what is the goal for this, how things are going to work out, how it's going to be practically I don't know, do I need to be naked 72 hours in this retreat? Or is it a choice? Is it private if I decide to have practices? Am I going to have them in front of everyone? Is someone else going to participate if I am with my partner there? Those kind of very awkward questions, I think they're absolutely needed. At first, when I came from the East and I came to the West and I said, okay, I want to continue this. And in one episode I said, okay, I was like kind of lost because I didn't know what to do. I took a lot of decisions without realizing that I was exposing myself because I was in the process of learning. I felt vulnerable. I had a very clear view of what I wanted. But when I got there, things got really messy because I felt ashamed of doing the right questions. This is why I'm sharing this with the listeners and everyone. It's like, do all the silly questions that you think are valuable for you if you want to try this and you want to jump right into the deep end of the swimming pool. Yeah, and I think
what's available out there is workshops, and you have to know that the facilitators or the teachers are having the right intention, maybe?
I think that is, maybe if you ask that question, the answer that you will get from the teachers is yes, I have the right intention. Yeah. But when you explain how things are going to be, it's like, okay, you're going to have your own room or you are just with your partner and practices are private, the place is really big, we are going to share to do meditations and we're going to explain how it's done, nudity is optional, I don't know. We are sharing a meal together. We do the meditation at this time. That sounds a little bit better than nudity is mandatory. And
have you been to, or have you seen workshops where it says nudity is mandatory? Okay. Wow.
But then again, when people talk about this, they say this is what is needed to speed the process, because if it was optional, it would be really hard because some people will be connected and other not. So everyone will justify it. But the importance is how you feel about this. I think it could be really healing, done properly. And I feel that there are lots of queer people that have this internalized hate to themselves because you have these microaggressions of not being good enough or not being the right person for a very long time. So at one point you feel like stuck. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not lovable. And tantric experiences, not even sexual, tantric experiences can be so healing because then you feel connected. Brené Brown, an author I love, she has a book called Braving the Wilderness, and she said that all human beings have three things in common. We're born, we're going to die, and we have the willing for belonging. And I felt that right in the middle of my heart, because that is so true. When you feel you belong to a bigger community, when you feel that there is nothing wrong with you, that you are good just the way you are, that can be really healing. And I feel that in that way, Tantra can be really inclusive. You need to practice, as I said before, in the right setting.
I think if you go to any workshop or community where you feel like you are tapping into this community or belonging, if you are listening to our podcast, you have to have in the back of your mind that the belonging should always be to something higher than a community, a person, or a group.
Very good point.
Yeah, and that is because this is what made us feel not lonely anymore. This is what made me feel like this is something I want to, I'm very passionate about sharing because I know how much it affected my life and healed my wounds. But it wasn't until it changed from getting the experience of feeling a belonging to the source rather than my dance crew or the yoga shanga that we have or a specific teacher or whatever. Then you will just change your point of attraction to something. and that will always disappear. So if you go into this workshop or you have a amazing experience, try to go home and practice to wide that to what I call the source, and you can call it whatever, if you want to call it God or nature, but something beyond a physical place and person. That's kind of my biggest advice for.
I like that, because there is the experiences could be so intense that you can get attached to the experience instead of going for like the higher level.
Yeah.
You may, I don't know, you might fall in love with the person that you're with. You might want to repeat that experience as a compulsive thing, come back and come back and come back.
And that is very common in the Tantra community, where you have these gurus.
Yes, exactly.
And they have multiple relationships, and it's free love. And I understand where it comes from, because it's the tantric essence of we are all one and we are free and we are going to love everything and everyone. But sometimes I feel like they have lost something on the way. I don't think it's about being in a relationship or a sexual relationship with as many people as possible.
Some people like variety. But I don't think that is a justification. And I feel that what we are talking is important for our listeners to understand, that is their choice. That is not that getting into Tantra is to go into that path. You can choose how your connection to the source is going to be. This sense of shame or being included and everything is, I think it touches everyone. I put the example in the queer community, but actually everyone has something within themselves that feel that is a wall that disconnects them from the world or from other people. Some people have, I don't know, extra kilos or not enough kilos, or they're bald, or I don't know. It could be many, many things. And you feel that you are not good enough to belong. And what I love about Tantra is exactly that. Everyone is good enough to belong.
Yeah, but also you have to dare to.
Oof.
So, yeah, how to do that is why we do the practices.
Yeah,
I think.
To crack the shell open.
Yeah. I think it's hard, though. I think I said this before. If you want to go to a workshop to have fun and do something interesting, do that. But if you want to go into Tantra because you want to reach a state of freedom and creativity, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think a workshop will fix that or help you with that. If it's based on sexual practices, even if it's pure intentions behind it, that you do these exercises, like you said with your teacher too, for me it was like, took so much time even before we started to share our sexual energy. The intimacy and it was there between me and my teacher, but even before we started to kind of share just the energy, it was a long, I don't know, we were building trust and shared, intimate moments without even going into the sexual energy part.
Yeah.
So when you facilitate a workshop where you go straight into that, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think you can give people a really aha, like, oh wow, that was amazing experience, but it's like
that was amazing.
That's
sex.
like the quick, it's like the quick fix. Yeah.
That was amazing sex. It wasn't Tantra. I met through this kind of workshops people that were into tantric practices, and usually people that were my age or older, and you could see that they were going through the experience in a different way. That they weren't like rushing into the practices or they were very selective and saying, yes, I will do this, I'm not going to do that. That they were like their own people. And that would be my advice. If you want to go through an experience, it's not like signing a blank check. You decide in every moment what you want to do, and it could be a good experience, but it comes from the level of intimacy that you have with yourself and how you connect with another person. It's also super helpful to go with someone you trust. I see.
I think if you go with a partner that you're already in a relationship with, then we talk about something else.
Yeah.
But to go into a workshop where you're going to, I saw this documentary where they were blindfolded and going to kiss strangers because you know it's
that is
it's not what it's.
No, that for me was.
Have you done?
Yeah,
you've done that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That for me was like, okay, this is being maybe 13 again.
Yeah.
And playing doctor.
Yeah.
But this is not the same.
I feel like it's in the West or these workshops, it's like they are giving you this reward before you have done the work.
Yeah.
Can we say it that way?
Yeah.
So you have the workshop and we are going to do this and explore the sensual world of
Yeah.
And then you go into
the goddess.
Yes.
And
and the massages and everything. And this is the trick though. You can go to this workshop because you want to maybe come to a different state.
Yes.
And then you go to this workshop and you are not ready for the things they do because you are attending the workshop because you feel like you need to learn more or come to that state.
Mm-hmm.
If you're already in that state, you would maybe not even go to that workshop.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's no conclusion here, but I still feel like go for fun. Do it if you feel like it's something you will experience and have an open mind and go in with a little bit of humor. And especially if you have a partner, it can be fun. But if you are on this spiritual quest, like if you're serious about that, I think it's not the right decision.
Yeah.
If you feel like, okay, I'm drawn to Tantra, I don't think you will find the answers in a Tantra workshop, sex workshop.
I really like that. For people that want to read, I always try to recommend books, you know.
But just to finish this, because you have been attending these workshops, what would you say? Because I haven't, so I can sit here on my high horse, say don't attend any workshop. Would you say that has given you anything valuable, or do you feel like
no? Well, I got very good friendships out of that. I knew people. Not through the sexual practices, actually, but for the conversations or the dinners and the meditations, that they are amazing, and I learn a lot from them. But I had the sense through those practices that I never did with a partner, actually. The workshops, I mean. My sense was like I was okay to expose myself to that experience, because I knew when to open myself and when not to.
But you attended these workshops after you were in India.
Yes.
So you had a totally different...
Yes.
When you went into that.
Yeah, because prior to that, I wanted to do that, but I was kind of afraid because I thought it was too much out there. I guess that I grew up with kind of, well, most people, with like an addiction mentality. I had my problems with alcohol when I was a teenager and everything. So when I saw these things, it's like, what if I like it too much? It was kind of, I know it's kind of a silly thought.
No, that makes perfect sense.
What if I like it too much? That will ruin my possibility to really connect with someone and have a loving relationship, because I am going to go after...
I think that happens for a lot of people, and that's why I have a little bit of warning towards it. But we have to mention that it is workshops without sex involved.
Yeah. And also there are workshops that propose that you go at your own path and you do the things that you feel that represent the moment that you are with. Because you can't force everyone to do exactly the same just because they are participating in the same workshop.
Exactly.
In that sense, this two-sided experience There is a beautiful book called the Man Tantra Letters, that is letters between two friends, one that is in a temple and the other one that is in San Francisco in the sex scene. And they talk to each other in the letters during the AIDS pandemic about how they connected with the experience of fusing with another person. And one very wild leather sex club practices and drugs, and on the other side with the monks being in the middle of nowhere. I believe in the middle ground as a Buddhist, and I believe that you need to choose when to participate and what to do. Tantra is very generous in a sense. Some people use the word Tantra, as we said before, to define things that are not. There is a huge opportunity there if you are open-hearted and you put the rational boundaries when you're opening up in intimacy to another person. In this Pride Month, it's important for everyone, not only for queer people, to be proud of who you are and to connect in deep way if you feel that this is what you want with another person. Sex can be a great mean of showing love, and for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.